Hey everybody, welcome back to what's going to be the grand finals of the DOS anniversary 1 year tournament. I'll be your host today. I'm Pickle. I'm joined by my commentator today, Fat. How you doing, Fat?
I'm doing quite well, Pickle. We have come quite a long way since the start of this tournament.
Yes, many matches. We're on week number 9 officially. We have Bog Beast Butterflies currently 2-0, Viscous Krillers currently 2-1. If Bog Beast Butterflies can take this first set, best of 9, they'll be taking the grand finals. However, if Viscous Krillers take this first set, we will be having a bracket reset, which we will then be going continuing down the map and doing one final set of matches. Fat, what are you excited for today?
I am very excited for these two teams. Both have shown quite aggressive play styles, but with some pretty interesting and different approaches to their comp. Bog Beast Butterflies with Mothman, Narumi, Jhum, and Captain Player continue kind of sticking to their guns with a very aggressive, tacticooler beacon plus backline sort of situation. And Viscous Krillers, Zion, Pippi, E&L, and Yotza Captain basically changing their comp almost every game just to fit the map and mode. So very excited to see what they bring out here today, Pickle.
Indeed. One thing I'm personally curious to see is if Mothman will wear something that doesn't look like a toaster oven. I'm guessing probably not, because that's been the case every single match so far.
Absolutely. Well, if you're going to toast your opponents, you got to look the part, Pickle.
That is true. Definitely interested to see what he brings out. I did see just in the lobby now, he did have that Jet Squelcher that is a personal favorite of mine. So if he's going to be bringing that out, I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on him, if the camera, of course, follows him.
Definitely. Certainly Mothman's shown a lot of proficiency with Jet Sculpture, among other weapons. I would expect Mothman to be flexing the most in this comp. Narumi, Jhum, and Player Continue tend to stick to the T-Tech, N-Zap, and Wiper Deco picks for consistency, with Mothman kind of switching it up depending on the situation. Here we're starting on Splat Zone's Flounder Heights. We actually have a really interesting map list featuring 3 maps from both Splatoon 1, 2, and 3.
Very
just to tie
interesting.
into that, just to tie into that whole anniversary feel,
I
Pickle.
have to say, whoever created this map list did a really good job setting this up.
Well, it was a group effort, Pickle.
I'm just kidding, y'all. Fat had a huge part in getting this going for the final maps list, so major props to you, Fat. It's been a fantastic list, and we did get to see some of these played last week during the exhibition match, but here we go. We have Mothman on Nautilus. I saw a Wiper there. Seeing a brush on Yoka.
Got double brush on the side of Viscous Krillers, the Octobrush Nouveau, and an Ink Brush, which I'm presuming is Pippi here playing that.
Yes, it does seem to be the case. We have 2 LEDs, 2 comebacks on the side of Viscous Krillers. On the side of Bog Beast Butterflies. Oh, and before I forget, let me change this to full screen. I'm sure chat's probably yelling about that right now. You have Yoka going crazy with Octobrush, getting knocked down.
Yeah, we do have beacon support on both sides as well. Still a bit of neutral play here. No particular leads. With Mothman going down, the first cap going to Bog Beast Butterflies, but not for very long. Here we go. Let's see if they can't set up here. I'm sorry. I
believe it was Viscous Krillers.
Yeah. Krillers there.
Hey, we're still warming up. Don't worry, chat. We got this. We're fine. All right, we see Bog Beast Butterflies coming back, taking their zone, putting a little bit of pressure. There's that rain out that's going to force Viscous a little bit out of the mid. We do see them scatter.
We have a hard flank from Player Continue, not quite paying off here. Now down 2.
Ink Strikes come out from Zion in their alleyway. Apparently going back, and they're going to try to come at things from the front this time.
The Bog Beast Butterflies kind of showing, despite a nice healthy lead to Viscous Krillers, kind of not staying dead here. That's been sort of the MO of their comp, just to keep coming back with Tacticooler and those beacons, just never quite staying dead, Pickle.
Yeah, I believe we saw that last week. It's a very effective combo. Keeps them in the game. We see a flank coming up from Pippi down below. Cameras on Narume. They have the zone now. They're knocking down these points. We'll see if they're able to hold on to this as we see a jump coming in from Viscous. Narume getting 2 before going down. That's going to help them out quite a lot.
And the wipeout. Bog Beasts now looking like they're going to round the corner and taking the lead. For real this time, Pickle.
That is true. A Tacticooler is out on that zone. That's going to give them at least 17 seconds of safety. Where something happens, they can make a quick comeback and keep holding on to this. They've now taken the lead. Lost control of the zone. We'll see if it flips back. Currently 40-48 for score.
Very nice special coordination for Viscous Krillers, looking to give that penalty to Bog Beast Butterflies.
Pippi trying to avoid the rain here, going around, making use of that ink brush to get out of a sticky situation. Meanwhile, Mothman comes in with the Nautilus and goes to town, getting 2 before going down himself as well.
Some very nice beacon placement from Yota there, getting everybody back in just in time to continue their fight in mid here. But the flank here.
We're definitely seeing a struggle back and forth and a little bit of a stalemate trying to get things going. Each team has their own zone locked down. Not quite able to push in just quite yet.
A nice set of picks from Mothman and company. Just maintaining, just barely having a lead with 1.5 minutes left on the clock.
Yoka on brush trying to make a comeback, trying to keep that timer from ticking down on the side of yellow. They get that zone back. That's going to help them out. They've got to do a little bit of work, though. Pushing them back, taking the zone, keeping it. Still going back and forth, but Yoka taking down that beacon is going to help keep them maintain things here.
A lot of diving from both teams here, just trying to keep that constant pressure, not allowing anyone to take a breather here. Lots of picks happening back and forth on this map.
Oh, and we see the flank coming in from behind with Bog Beast, taking that zone by surprise.
Seeing a little bit of a cluster from Bog Beasts here. I'm worried that might give the opportunity for Viscous Krillers to take the lead.
And lead has indeed now switched. Still going strong, counting down on their side. Viscous Krillers, we've only got 24 seconds left, and Bog Beast is going to have to make a play if they want to be able to flip things around here.
I hope no one has been taking shots every time they see someone super jump Pickle, or else they'll be out for the rest of the match already. 8 seconds. Looks like we're going to be seeing an overtime too, with 2 going down. Very
wow,
nice
that is
play,
going
and
to be
Viscous coming
really
out.
good for Bog Beast Butterflies, getting these points in. It looks like there's a little bit of
That
contesting
pass
going on.
That meat grinder, and with
and that is the end of the game.
not quite enough time to flip it, with game 1 going to Viscous Krillers. Wow, that was an exciting game. I am already on the edge of my seat. I am excited to see what more we have to look forward to.
I am
Viscous
also on the
Krillers
edge of my
can-
seat because I have hemorrhoids. Just kidding, y'all.
Today's stream brought to you by Preparation H.
No affiliation.
No relation.
That's just the nickname my cousin gave me. Don't worry about that, y'all.
Preparation H is in how do you do?
Man,
Well,
what an
Pickle.
interesting first match. Back and forth all game long. Almost took it back at the end, but just didn't have quite enough to pull it back.
And you got to think, Pickle, with Viscous Krillers taking game 1, that's got to give them that momentum. Remember, again, they need to win 5 in this first match and win 5 more in a bracket reset if they want to take everything. So having that momentum early on is really going to benefit them, Pickle.
That is indeed true. I myself know that even just having 1 win up on the other enemy is enough to kind of really give you that boost that you need. Keep morale going. And we'll see if they're able to keep riding this wave or if Bog Beast Butterflies is going to take that back.
Speaking of riding, we go now into Tower Control on Inkblot Art Academy. Wondering what kind of comp we're going to see. Again, Viscous Krillers known for switching things up. Of course, you see Yotza often on the Octobrush, sometimes Roller, sometimes even heavy Splatling with a variety of other weapons coming out. Zion often playing the short-range shooters and buckets. E&L having played a lot of the Tri-Stringer, but also flexing to a number of other weapons, Tri-Slosher, and a couple
Interesting.
more.
I don't think I've ever seen Zion's Tri-Stringer before.
E&L, I believe.
Oh, E&L. Okay.
If I if I misspoke.
You know what? I had a long day. I probably misinterpreted something there.
If Zion had a Tri-Stringer, it wouldn't surprise me. And Pippi as well, having seen the Ink Brush already, but Pippi's played everything from dualies to short-range shooters, a number of other options. I've seen even Glugas coming out, which could possibly be a good pick on tower here with that Booyah Bomb. But we'll just have to see what they're bringing to the table, Pickle.
Always gotta love a GG Booyah. That was one of my favorite moments from a previous match. Undertow was Captain IHOP. I was in the watch party. We just saw him charging up that Booyah Bomb. We saw the time ticking down. Such hype moments seeing that. But we are off onto the next match. I have remembered to go full screen this time, so don't worry, Chad. I got you covered.
Now we're seeing that Jet Squelcher that you were alluding to earlier with Yotza opting to go to the Range Blaster, and there is the Tri-Stringer from E&L. Also got NZAP support on both sides, so continuing to go with those Tacticooler comps to try to keep them in the game, keep that pressure going as much as possible.
Yes, still seeing the beacons on the side of Bog Beast Butterflies. Viscous not seeing any beacons though. Curious to see how it goes.
Ooh, that flank from player continue paying off very well. And it seemed like he was just down, and just like that, he's back, causing mayhem on their flat as we already get through that first checkpoint, Pickle.
Oh, and I think I am stuck on one of the players here. Do you remember, Fat, how to get back to the overhead?
It's some combination of buttons.
Sorry about that. 1 second, folks.
Pickle's going manual team. As we see two going down from the Bog Beast Butterflies. Going to see if Viscous Krillers can't turn it around here, Pickle. Our Tacticooler coming out. It's starting to get painted. I do see a sword on the other side. Here. A little bit of sword play from Pippi, who I'm not sure that I've seen play sword, but again, Viscous Krillers have been showing so many different comps, showing just how much they can flex here. Still a bit of a meat grinder here in mid. Two going down. A lot of paint for Alpha Team, for Bog Beast Butterflies. Maintaining that lead, maintaining all that map control. So 3 minutes left. Not too much progression since.
And I believe we do have AutoCam on, so thank you, audience, for hanging in there for a second.
Right, we do see some isolated fights, but things still remaining relatively even in terms of player advantage. Not seeing too much progression here. We do see Bog Beast hit the tower. A very nice pick by player continue.
Yeah, and so far it's been a fairly slow game of tower. Nothing being pushed too aggressively one way or the other quite yet.
The direct here. Some solid defense from Viscous Krillers. You can see if they can't turn it around here. There isn't a whole ton of paint on their side, but if they can get the picks, they still can manage to move this tower forward on a map that can get pretty congested in spots, Pickle.
Speaking of getting the picks, there goes Yotza with the Range Blaster, getting at least one on the other team. That's going to allow Viscous to be able to push a little bit. To get to the checkpoint, had to hop off, though. There's a little bit too much pressure coming from Bog Beast Butterflies as Mothman is covering the tower with that Jet Squelcher pretty strong.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zion kind of caught herself sort of alone with no one really being able to support on that left side, where Mothman and company were able to paint up and get enough specials just to push her off the tower, Pickle.
We do see Tacticooler coming out on the side of Viscous. Thankfully, that got put down just before a splat happened. But right now, I don't know if Viscous is going to be able to reach that too easily. This might be time for Bog Beast to try to get a good push in.
With less than a minute and a half, there's always that question of how much do we want to push our advantage here. This could turn at any moment, but then again, this Krillers hasn't quite broached that first checkpoint, although 3 down might do it, Pickle.
I think we are going to see our first checkpoint here. Oh, wait, I must have missed the previous checkpoint. Sorry about that. That's going to be lead on the side of Viscous. That is going to put Bog Beast on their toes. See that Ink Strike coming out, trying to push Viscous back. As the tower slowly makes its way back to the center again. We see Bog Beast trying to take center, trying to take mid, get that paint out there, get that control.
There's coolers coming out.
We might be seeing a pretty strong push back pretty quick here. That tower is making its way around the corner. However, we still have 4 up on each side. Ooh. Oh, 2 down on the side of Bog Beast Butterflies. That tower is switching back. Player continued just barely holding on. Couldn't make it out, though. Too much pressure coming from the side of Viscous to be able to keep hanging on the tower.
They're just diving to the tower, just trying to get those last few points, just 5 points away with 1 more second left. I'm not able to hold on.
So close. Next game goes to Viscous Krillers.
Game 2, Viscous Krillers. They are looking for that bracket reset, Pickle.
Indeed, they might just get it today if things keep going this way. Great job on both sides, honestly, though.
Gotta love the emote coordination, as has become customary.
And I see E&L stealing my special power-up outfit that I use on my own ends app. Not trying to say you're copying me, but you know.
It is patented. So. Fun. All right, we have now 2 games for Viscous Krillers. Bog Beast Butterflies still yet to get on the board, but again, they are coming into this with a whole match advantage as we move into Rainmaker on Undertow Spillway, Pickle.
It is true, and we've been seeing quite a number of upsets this tournament. Teams that, you know, seem like they might be a little bit of the underdog, coming back, making a comeback, getting on top. Even in this finals bracket, taking a look at the teams that were seeded, some of them seem to have just taken us by surprise, I would say.
Absolutely. Looking into Game 3, I'm wondering what kind of adjustments the Bog Beast Butterflies are going to make. Again, they seem to have really settled into their comp with only Mothman making any major changes. Wonder if they might be looking to change anything for this Rainmaker map, or if they're just looking to stick to their guns and get into their groove, Pickle.
That's true, and that always is a dilemma. On one hand, if you stick with the weapons you know and love, you have that familiarity and that experience that you can fall back on. But if it's not working out, do you change it up? Do you keep going with what you've got? It's a really tough decision. But they seem like they're very well set. I'm betting we're probably going to see the same weapons coming out, judging by how quickly they readied up. Looks like we've got 1 more, might be taking a couple more thoughts, but we are 12 seconds away from the next match being spooled up here.
Yes, conversely with Viscous Krillers, being able to switch, kind of the Swiss Army knife sort of situation with their comps certainly has its benefits, but it can also be a bit of a drawback because every time you change weapons, sometimes it can take a little bit of time to kind of fall into the rhythm of a new weapon.
That is true.
Here we go.
And
kind of the same comp for Bog Beasts and a completely different comp for Viscous Krillers yet again.
And we are seeing Gluga as one of my personal favorites, so I'm definitely excited to see Pippi bringing that out.
Yeah, not a very common weapon, although Pippi not the only contestant to be playing Lucas during this tournament. So
This
again,
true. I've
good to
seen him
see
come out a
it in
couple of
Krillers.
times. I think maybe the recent buff has kind of helped bring them into favor a little bit more than they were previously.
Good to see some dually aficionados. Dualies have not been super popular, with the exception of a couple of kits here and
Oh,
there.
and here goes the first push from Viscous. We got a solo push from Zion trying to get to the checkpoint. Makes it up to it, not quite in. That is a very good point run right there.
Definitely a good risk here, but we want to make sure that they're still staying up in terms of numbers. It looks like there's still a bit of neutral play in mid. And not a ton of map control for Viscous Krillers, but they don't seem to care that much about their map control cycle, although that wipeout might change their minds here.
And we do see first checkpoint coming from Bog Beast Butterflies. Tenta missiles coming out. Player continue trying to get a very long flank going. That's going to help get them off of Plaid and maybe make some more room to make another push.
Player has just been a thorn in the side of many a teammate, just placing those beacons very aggressively and always taking those odd routes. Not even so concerned with getting a pick, but just being that distraction, buying his team time. Now able to come from behind.
Oh, just not enough. There. Almost. Seeing a very decent pushback coming from Viscous, trying to take mid and push Bogby's back. They're getting a couple splats. They've taken a couple of their own. But we do see that Rainmaker popped in purple. So we might be seeing a push pretty quick here as Zion's sneaking their way over.
Oh, and Narumi as well. A couple nice picks.
Oh, and meanwhile, Viscous busy up front. Bogbeast grabbed that Rainmaker and ran.
Wow. Just buying that space again, just giving them more time for their teammates to come back. We'll see if this Booyah can make a difference here. 2v2.
I see another pop on the side of purple. Pippi doing some fancy footwork with their Gluga dualies, putting the pressure right before a player continue goes down. We got another pop on the side of Viscous Krillers, and Rainmaker holder grabs and goes down immediately.
Late on that wall there, but we do have a Booyah coming back. Still those specials coming in. Pippi managing to stay alive long enough, and the team's starting to regroup here.
I do wonder if maybe Viscous Krillers is feeling a little bit of pressure, being a little bit behind on points. I've seen a couple of antsy grabs at the Rainmaker that normally I wouldn't have expected to see. Usually want to have a little bit of paint up ahead, a little bit of safety before you start making the push. But we do see them trying to take this back as Yotza gets taken down by the Wiper from player continue. Meanwhile, Zion coming in from Viscous, wreaking havoc, getting a wipeout. This is going to be Viscous Krillers' time to push. They need to get this checkpoint and move fast. That is checkpoint on their side now.
Not an insignificant amount of points they're going to need to get. Oh, but 3 down with Mothman pushed into a corner here.
Oh, Ian trying to make that space, push him back. Someone's got to grab this Rainmaker and run. You see Yotza pick it up. Oh, he's stuck in the yellow ink. Makes it around on the perch. The snipe. They get the final dunk. That is nuts.
Wow.
Oh, man, the comeback from 66 points to 0.
Some very heads-up movement from Yotza there, and nice coordination with the Trizuka there right at the end. That's going to make it 3 games for Viscous Krillers.
That is insane. This rate, we might just see a bracket reset. We might be in for a lot of games, y'all. I hope y'all are excited. I hope y'all had your coffee this morning. Grab a snack right now. We're going to be in it for a while, I think.
Wow. I thought that Bog Beasts had that one there. They had a pretty good hold down in mid. Really think that one wipe just gave that swing that they needed just
Just
to set up and just for Viscous Krillers to
all
get
the
that
momentum they needed, and then running around the perch like that, getting away from all the yellow ink. That was just absolutely the play, and Yotza did so well grabbing that and running around.
very heads-up movement indeed. Now moving to Clam Blitz on Mahi Mahi Resort, a Splatoon 1 classic. I think momentum is going to be the name of the game. Viscous Krillers is going to try to ride that wave, ride that hype. It's going to be incumbent upon Bog Beast Butterflies just to keep their cool and just to kind of reset, not play too much into Viscous Krillers' plan, and just keep applying their own, making those adjustments as necessary. So
Absolutely, and definitely keeping their cool. I know once the other enemy team is up a certain number of points, the stress can start settling in. You feel the pressure. You want to make some good moves, make some plays. You want to put on a show. Sometimes that antsiness is what gets a person. Hopefully that's not what we're going to be seeing here. I know both teams are very well skilled and very well matched. But man, seeing these game caps from Viscous Krillers, they are hungry tonight.
But they're by no means blowouts at the same time.
Absolutely not.
Even with that knockout last game, it was by no means a one-sided match. Here we go.
Seeing a very slight change up on the side of Bog Beast. Mothman going ballpoint this match. A ballpoint nouveau.
Mm-hmm. The vacuum. We do see the classic Octobrush coming out from Yotza with going back to the bow. 52 gal from Zion. I mean, the splatter shot coming out from Pippi.
Narme playing it safe, trying to poke, hiding behind the bumper here, the pillow. Starting to move up a little bit, trying to make some headway here. We're seeing the mid currently mostly in favor of Bog Beast Butterflies, but Viscous Krillers isn't ready to give up just yet in this match.
Some nice special coordination, but they weren't quite able to get it. I don't know that they were aware that Yotza was able to get that stop, and here they come with the ball into their own.
That immediate pushback after that wipeout, they had the clam that they needed. Unfortunately, only one, and that's the wipeout in return. This is still going to be a fairly even match. If they get one dunk with even just the pity clam, that's going to put Bog Beast in a pretty good shape for the rest of this match. We do see Mothman's got several. There's a power clam on J-Hum. I believe there's still the pity clam at the back. Yes, we still have the pity clam at the back.
Ooh, they have a follow-up here. They'll be able to take that lead and maintain it.
They're going to be looking for that one clam, but unfortunately that's going to put them back at 81 points with Viscous Krillers still in the lead.
Dorniman's game here. 2 down, the map quickly turning over to Viscous Krillers. And another power clam made.
Oh, and we see Zion getting in there, getting the basket. That's going to put them a number of clams ahead. They currently have control of that basket and the territory around it. That is
water dropping. Oh.
I'm sure Viscous Krillers got to be really happy with that push at this point here.
Absolutely. Zion just keeping up that pressure, just not letting down, just slowing Bog Beast Butterflies as much as you can before finally going down. We do see the Tacticooler coming out and a vac ready from Mothman.
And there are a number of clams on the side of Bog Beast. If they can make a push, maybe get a wipeout, take that territory around the basket, they'll be in good shape to potentially make a comeback. Ink Vac coming out from Mothman, putting Yotza in trouble. But Yotza is able to just slap him with that Octobrush.
Octobrush is a great matchup against the Vac, just with the maneuverability and that overhead damage. And now again, and we go back to neutral here. There are a couple power clams in the possession of Bog Beast Butterflies.
That's true.
Still
They're doing a
2
good
minutes
job
and another
maintaining mid,
tactical-
but that tri-strike coming out. Thankfully, they got the tacticooler out, but I don't know if they're going to be able to reach it at this point.
I don't know that they were able to pick it up before they went down. That might be a dead tacticooler there.
Oh, we do see Mothman and possibly someone else able to get the tacticooler, so there's at least a little bit of special advantage when it comes to that for now.
Back. Fortunately, the Yotz's Zipcaster very pesky here.
Yeah, able to cause a little bit of disturbance on Bog Beast Butterflies, but maybe not quite enough to push them back further. Here we see Mothman with the ink back, but unfortunately that killer whale just goes straight through it.
Very nice.
Ah, that is a rough spot.
Oh, not quite able to get it in. Very nice defenses from Viscous Krillers yet again.
Yeah, making sure that that old power clam from Bog Beast does indeed expire before moving forward. I'm not going to let any sneaky players come from the side to grab that for a dunk.
Jayhum going down. Worried that without their tacticooler to push in, they might just be waiting the inevitable here.
Although that said, if they can get the picks that they need, they might have enough clams on their side to be able to do some sort of a comeback here. They might need to keep the basket open, but with 20 seconds left, this is starting to look a little grim for Bog Beast in this match here.
Viscous Krillers just kind of picking them apart, catching them alone a lot more than at the beginning of the match. Seems to be a little bit of desperation here.
I lose. We are going to see a bit of overtime as long as they play carefully and don't lose these clams. However, that killer whale is chasing Mothman down. That's one power clam down. Picked up by Jayhum. He's trying to survive, dancing back and forth. Zion gets him down.
Fortunately, just not quite able to make it. Just too many points caught alone. And game 4 goes to Viscous Krillers.
Wow, this is just absolutely insane. Man, what a good show. So, Fat, what are your thoughts on Mahi Mahi and the updates that they did to it?
I think overall, Mahi Mahi's updates are a positive thing. I think having that little bit of extra space to move around and a couple of more raised sections of obstacles make for a little bit more dynamic and fair of a map. I've heard a bit of a couple folks saying that they feel like it's a little too open now. I would argue that it was already a pretty open map to begin with, but I think overall the change is positive. Difficult to say how competitively viable the map is. It's still pretty cramped and small and doesn't really have the same dynamism as, say, a map like Sturgeon's Shipyard, which we'll be heading to next.
Ooh. I can't say it's a personal favorite of mine, but I have had a number of good games on this one, so I'm excited to see what happens. I know that pit in the middle definitely has gotten me a couple of times before. Kind of wondering if we're going to see any accidental drop-offs, perhaps. Maybe that's just me that it always happens to. I don't know. Could be skill issue. Might not be.
I could see there being beacon support from Viscous Krillers. We already can pretty much guarantee it from Bog Beast Butterflies. Beacons can be quite helpful. It is a bit of a trek from spawn to mid on this map and mode in particular. So
yeah, and that's going to be so huge for keeping up the pressure too. Being able to have those beacons to be able to cut down on time.
See Octo Nouveau or maybe even a crack on roller making an appearance, Pickle.
All right, the next match is currently spooling up. We'll see what the players are running. On Bog Beast, not much of a change-up, but we do see the beacon wiper coming out. No beacons on the side of Viscous. Oh, wait, no, because it's Octo Nouveau. That's correct.
A pretty marginal change from Viscous Krillers relatively, although they are back on the Tacticooler, hoping to apply pressure in that game. We're going to see here if Bog Beast can make any adjustments.
Yes. If anything, I think this might be the comp that they need. Just based off the players, what they're used to and what they have available to them, this might be able to help them make a comeback here. But we are seeing the zone go to the side of Viscous Krillers for this first match. Able to get 8 points down before it's being contested again.
Grinder here, and we still have 3 down for Bog Beast Butterflies. Unfortunate. Mothman staying pretty safe, providing some jumps, and with Rain Cloud at the ready, give a little space to get his teammates in.
We've seen that very quick here, although definitely had to start moving forward with that pressure from Pippi coming up from behind.
Very nice pick on
Tacticooler on the zone.
There's the flip.
J-Hum trying to take a little bit of extra space on the side. Zone currently being contested, but we see Ink Strikes coming out from Zion. That's going to flip it back in their favor again.
Not too big of a penalty for Bog Beast Butterflies. If they can maintain composure here and stay alive, they might be able to get it back here.
That is true. With that few penalty points, all it would take is one good push near any point in the match to be able to come back from that.
So being a menace with his brush once more, almost out of penalty points. Doesn't seem like Bog Beast is quite positioned under the zone. Maybe this Rain Cloud will be able to make the difference, and it does.
Control flips back to Bog Beast Butterflies, and just as quickly flips back into the side of Viscous Krillers. They are on this zone like white on rice. This is insane.
Absolutely, Pickle. See, player just barely staying alive. I'm sorry, it looks like that was J-Hum or Mothman. I couldn't quite see who that was there, but unfortunately, Viscous Krillers starting to pick away at Bog Beast Butterflies yet again, as they have now used all of their penalty and a Tacticooler coming out, Pickle.
We see Mothman's been displaced off to the side, trying to stay safe with that Jet Squelcher. Viscous Krillers have been putting a lot of pressure in their pits. That's forcing them off to the side. Not quite enough. Game 5 goes to Viscous Krillers. We are seeing a bracket reset, y'all.
Cue the air horn, everyone. You heard the man.
Bow, 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 bow. Sorry, I don't have a soundboard, y'all.
Wow. That was a clean 5-0 for match 1. Now begs the question, can Viscous Krillers keep up this momentum? Will they be able to maintain this composure under the pressure going into match number 2? Are they going to be able to continue with their game plan and continue to pick apart Bog Beast Butterflies, or will Bog Beast Butterflies show more resilience and endurance in the face of adversity here?
All right, currently checking in right now with Bog Beast Butterflies and Viscous Krillers in Discord. We're going to see if they need a little bit of time to maybe take care of anything they need to, maybe get a little bit of composure. Looks like they are requesting a few minutes, so we're going to have a little bit of a break here while the teams prepare for the next set.
Definitely. Some excellent play on both sides. Viscous Krillers, of course, coming out ahead, but Bog Beast Butterflies being no slouches themselves. Some very nice play. Lots of improvement from this team over the course of the tournament. This is by no means going to be a trivial bracket reset, Pickle.
No, absolutely not. We are going to see these teams fighting tooth and nail until this is over. Viscous Krillers coming with the aggression. They're putting on a very good fight today. They know what they want. They're going for it. uh, and there's just so much pressure that they're trying to put out. I'm curious to see if Bog Beast Butterflies is going to make any sort of changes going forward. We did see a little bit of a change up near the end of the matches with their weapon comps.
Absolutely. This might be a good time to mention that this stream is brought to you by Splatfest. Splatfest. You all know that your favorite mode is Turf War.
Oh God, please no. I'm sure we have a few Turf War enjoyers in the Twitch chat. I'm sorry that you like Turf War.
That would be everyone in Twitch chat. Clearly, Pickle. You heard the sponsors.
Everybody? Ah, man, I don't know. I mean, I could go on Twitch chat right now, and then that'll make it so it's, you know, a little bit in favor away from that. But one thing that I do have for us while we are giving the teams a little bit of time here is I have a little bit of a quiz. What do you think, Fad? Do you think you're up for that? I've got a few questions here that I was able to put together before the stream.
Absolutely. Just to set expectations, my star sign is Cancer.
All right, and I'm a Gemini, so we all know what that means.
Oh,
all
yes.
right, so the first question. Sometimes in the single-player mode, a specific special will be available to the player via a container that can be picked up. What is this container called?
Oh, man.
And chat, feel free to chime in with anything that you got. Unless
man.
if Fat you're watching the chat, don't do that.
I'm not
Don't
watching
cheat.
the chat. I'm. It's the tuna can. I don't think it's called the tuna can. Oh God, it's got the. I'm gonna go with the specialometer, Pickle.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect. It is referred to as a canned special.
Canned special.
It is very literal.
It's very literal. Great job, Nintendo of America, for your localization.
All right, I do see at least one of the two teams is ready, so we might be seeing the lobby spool up pretty soon here. But let's keep going. All right,
Sure.
the next question: what are the orange eggs called in Salmon Run?
Power eggs.
Dang it! I was hoping I'd get you with that one. It is power eggs indeed.
Power eggs? Aha!
I know we were just talking about how neither one of us is much of a Salmon Run player. I thought I was going to get you with it.
I knew that from single player, Pickle, because that is also what they're called there.
All right, next question, which hopefully everyone's got in their mind right now. What item do you receive at the end of each Splatfest in return for your participation?
Oh, that would be the Super Sea Snails.
That is also correct. Ding, ding, ding on that one. We have 2 for Fat now. Are you ready for this next one? This one's
Absolutely.
a doozy.
I'm already surprised that you prepared more than 3 questions, Pickle.
I had to stretch for a couple of them. What has the longer range, the 52 gal or the NZAP?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a tough
I
one.
believe it is the 52 gal.
Are you sure about that? Do you want to change your answer?
I'm gonna stick with it.
All right, you're sticking with it. Do you want to phone a friend?
I have no friends, Pickle.
Ah, dang it. Yeah, 52 gal is correct. 3 for 4. It
Funny
beats
story.
it out by
In
about
Splatoon-
10%.
In Splatoon 2, the Tri-Slosher used to have the same range as the 52 gal.
Which is
And
insane
no one thought
to
that was a
think
problem
about.
on launch.
God, anytime I see a Tri-Slosher, oh my God, is just the worst thing to have to play against. Because, you know, anytime you're next to the enemy ink, they're going to be popping out of it within 2 seconds and getting you down.
And anytime I see a green planting pod at Lowe's, I get flashbacks, Pickle. All right.
All
I
right,
suppose we have
next
time for one more.
We just might. For the Glugadoolies, how many shots does it take to kill?
Ha ha ha. Pickle, the Glugadoolies kills in 3 shots while you're in dual reticle mode, and in 2 shots after you dodge roll.
That is true. It was indeed a trick question, as I'm sure you were thinking in your head as I asked that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got another single-player question. Which special weapon shows up in single-player mode that you cannot use outside of single player?
That would be the Splashdown.
That is correct. Again, Fat is on a roll with these questions. Now, I've only got one left. This one might be a doozy. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Pickle.
It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be no one ever knows or even thinks about. Which sub-weapon does the H3 nozzle nose have?
The H3 nozzle nose. That would be the point sensor.
No. Again, you are right. I was hoping with the fact that I've never even seen one in a lobby in the past year that people would have forgotten about that. Apparently not Fat, though.
I have 1 star at every weapon, proudly, Pickle.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that does kind of help with that. I forgot that you also do that.
Yes, we have proven that Fat is 6/7 a nerd.
But yes, that was my quiz. So, Twitch chat, how did you do? Did you do well? Did you get more than you thought? Did you get a little less than you thought? Were you surprised? Why don't you hop in a chat and let us know?
Find out next time on Fat and Pickle Ruin the Stream.
All right, I've got another quiz question.
All
Just thought of it right now.
Hit me.
There is a number between 1 and 10
69.
that I'm thinking of. Dang it! Actually, technically, you're partially right because I was thinking of 9. I'll give that one to you.
Was there more to that question, or is it just the
That was
number am
literally
I
just
thinking?
that. All right. Give me just one moment. I'm going to double check on both these teams here. Oh, it looks like Fat is ahead of me on that. Okay. Oh, and the lobby is spooling up now. Looks like we are ready to go for match 2 of Grand Finals bracket reset.
We got tower
Let me
control.
reset
on
the score real
Havelfit
quick.
Market here. Good favorite. Old favorite of mine. This is a fun one. We could see a number of interesting comp picks from either team. Expecting to see maybe some blaster from Viscous Krillers. Wondering what kind of backline the Bog Beast Butterflies will be looking to do, having the advantage of that tent or glass that could give Mothman quite a bit of range to play with any number of long-range weapons. Still expecting to see a lot of tacticooler and a lot of aggression on the side of both teams, Pickle.
That is true. Curious to see if we'll see much for beacons. Even though this isn't a large map, this is, in my opinion, a pretty decent beacon map. You put a beacon on each side of, what are they called, the buildings? I'm not exactly too sure.
Yeah, those little stacks. It can help watch those flanks, but not to mention just give really safe super jump spots on attack, Pickle.
Absolutely. And with the radar that they have, you can actually see past the stack into the enemy zone a little bit. So if you're trying to see if someone's hiding around a corner and you got some beacons out, you might be able to catch someone off and surprise them as they're trying to surprise you. But here we go. Match number 1 of the bracket reset, or game number 1.
Here we go.
Seeing a very standard comp. We do see beacons on the side of Bog Beast.
Here's the
Not
range
on the
blast.
side of Viscous Krillers, though.
Pippi playing the ballpoint splatling of all things.
I mean, you did say that Viscous Krillers has quite a range of weapons that they play. I see a couple flanks on the side. J-Hum trying to push him back a little bit. Looks like no one's really going anywhere on the left side at least. But Viscous Krillers does currently have the tower getting those early points.
See that first tactical coming out. 2 down from the Viscous Krillers.
Oh, J-Hum unfortunately running into that
bomb.
suction bomb. I know that situation far too well myself. Thankfully, that tactical is going to get him back real quick, though.
Very nice in-storm. We're seeing a very long flank going in from behind. That's
Zion taking
there
out
from
2.
Taking out 3.
Wow.
Hungry for the quad here. But not quite
Unfortunately,
able to
can't
get
do
it.
it with that Splatana right in their face.
Again, being very annoying with that Splatana. Just it doesn't care about going down, just wants to keep applying pressure and just getting in their faces, just trying to slow down Viscous Krillers as much as possible.
Do see it contesting for mid right now as a Trizuka comes out on the side of Viscous Krillers. Currently, Viscous Krillers trying to go down their left alley to do a little bit of a flank, but we're seeing Inkstorm come out on the side of Bog Beast as Viscous's Wave Breaker shoots out at the same time. We do see some points on the side of Bog Beast Butterflies as they are pushing up towards this checkpoint coming up here.
Nice picks here. A very timely Tacticooler as well with some well-placed beacons. They don't allow Bog Beasts to continue to apply pressure here, but we do see Viscous Krillers regrouping, getting back into neutral, but that tower is still moving for Bog Beast here.
We see a little bit of aggression trying to keep some pressure on this tower. Mothman by himself currently. Player Continue coming up trying to support. Zion coming up behind him. And they are able to get past the checkpoint.
That's a second checkpoint. Oh my goodness. Player just swish, swish, swish. Can't quite get past.
Mothman doing a good job dancing around the tower. Unfortunately goes down to Yotza with that blaster.
Jayham in a very aggressive position. Oh, almost able to get direct. Oh, the
double.
bomb! The bomb!
Wow.
Very nice play from Narumi. A very nice pick from Narumi as well. Going down, but just keeping the numbers down on Viscous Krillers as long as possible so they can keep touching the tower and keep building that passive special.
Inkjet coming out from Pippi, getting a pick with it. That's going to help them do a little bit of a push, but this Inkstorm's going to push him back.
Drop rolling out of that Inkstorm.
Ooh, dodging that bomb very nicely on the tower, just getting right on the correct side of the pole.
A lot of nice bomb pressure from Narumi throughout this match. Just it's almost seeming like there's more splat bombs than there ought to be at times.
Right, like, do we have a junior in this match? No, we don't, but Narumi's throwing them out like they do have a junior.
Oh, a very nice pinch here.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you got so many people coming from you on all sides like that, there's just nothing much you can do at that point.
Seeing some good defensive positioning. A nice pick from the range blaster. Going to start to push up. We've got another pick from Viscous Krillers and the Inkjet.
See, Viscous really going for these picks here. There wasn't really much control of mid, but they were really going hard after Bog Beast with their weapons that they've got.
That Tacticooler and that Zuka's going to do a little bit, but I worry they're going to have to make some big moves. It's quite a big push with almost 2 checkpoints to get through.
That is true. 30 seconds left on the clock does not leave much time. And with how slow the tower moves, the sooner they can get a push going, the better. But we see Bog Beast looking like they're making a comeback, getting this tower, keeping it on this side of the map.
Going to the last 20 seconds. Bog Beast doesn't have to do that much, but player going with the flank and taking down 2.
Wow, just going nuts. The wipeout.
That's going to be the game.
It's going to take a miracle at this point.
Some missiles for good measure, and there we go. Bog Beast Butterflies taking their first game in game 1 of the bracket reset.
Man, whatever they did during the break there is exactly what they needed. I don't know if maybe they had a pep talk or strategy discussion, but whatever they did, it seemed to work because this game, going to Bog Beast Butterflies, it is currently 1-0 for match number 2 of the reset.
And with a little hip swing there, now we see perhaps a momentum shift here. Bog Beast Butterflies taking a bit of wind out of Viscous Krillers' sails. Still Viscous Krillers up 5 games, but looking to see if Bog Beast Butterflies, while sticking to their guns, sticking to this comp that they have practiced again and again, can just show some consistency and composure that very well may lead us to the latter half of this set battle.
Maybe that composure is exactly what we were seeing. Uh, Definitely looked like they were trying to make sure that they had the space taken that they needed before attempting to push anywhere. It allowed them to have a couple of safe pushes, and then at that point, just keeping it around that first checkpoint area. Just
Absolutely.
every once in a while, touching the tower, make sure it doesn't go back. They were able to put up a very good defense once they had pushed it far enough.
I feel like they're getting their picks again as well, so perhaps just a little bit more confidence going into this and a little bit more support overall, just trying to avoid that stagger feed loop that can really tear apart a team, just continuing to show that, confidence and comfortability in their own play and in each other, Pickle.
That is true.
All right, we're going into Rainmaker Museum d'Alfonsino. Another one where I think we could see some interesting picks. I would maybe expect to see something along the lines of a crab tank, perhaps from either Zion or Pippi. Both being known to run crab tank weapons. Maybe even some splatling from one of the Viscous Krillers. I wonder if Mothman's going to end up sticking with the Jet Squelcher, or if we're going to go to something with a little bit more range, Pickle.
I do wonder, but with the Jet Sculpture, I feel like you do get a little bit more mobility than what you might have with the other weapons, which is very key in Rainmaker. And we do see the Jet Squelcher, custom jet, coming out.
Oh, and here's the crab tank as well as the bow and the vanilla octobrush. Still opting to stick with Tacticooler on both sides here. We see it looks like Zion is running a crab farming kit with 2 mains of special charge up, and here's our first crab tank.
I gotta check the rest of her kit right now.
Oh, yeah.
Zion, and she's running Object Shredder, so we're definitely going to be seeing Zion trying to get those crabs to be able to get quick pops on the Rainmaker for sure.
The Object Shredder on the Splash-O-Matic, just that fast fire rate, able to pop the Rainmaker so fast, while also being able to deal with opposing crab tanks. A little bit of Houdini going on here on the screen. Almost taking the first checkpoint.
Zipcaster coming out and ends
there's
just as
a
quickly.
DC. There's a DC.
Oh, DC. Oh, man. Make me put in that TO work now.
Absolutely. Pickle, can you remind us of the disconnect rules? I'm just asking for a friend.
Absolutely. In just 1 second, let me pull up the rules here. All right. Each team is allowed a single replay due to disconnection during a set as long as the following criteria are met. The disconnection occurred during the first half of the game, but after the first 30 seconds. The opposing team has not pushed the objective more than 70 points, down to 30, and the remaining teammates of the disconnected player stop immediately. I do believe we hit all that criteria, did we not?
I believe so, and I think regardless, it looks like both teams have opted to reset it anyway. It looks like we're just going to run that one back. Neither team wanting to secure victory on account of a disconnect or a disqualification. They come this far. They want to win it fair and square without any technical difficulties playing into it, Pickle.
Absolutely, and everyone here throughout the entire tournament has been just great participants. There's been a number of times where you've seen people just kind of shine and go above and beyond and just be absolutely great people. And that's part of what makes this TO job so worth it, is just seeing the good people doing good things and having a good time in this tournament.
Yeah, even in this bracket set of tournament week, just seeing former combatants just continuing to offer to do scrims with the teams that have advanced and continue to offer input and just bodies to play against has really kept the standards of this tournament high.
Absolutely, and
here
the
we
camaraderie alone is just one of my favorite parts of DOS.
Pickle, I predict that we'll see a crab tank here in the first 30 seconds of the game.
I will not bet money against you.
see it at the ready. And coming out, a little more aggressive positioning from the Crab Tank here. We'll see. You see him going down. Now 3v3.
In fact, remind me, was it on the side of Viscous Krillers we had the DC?
I believe. You know, I'm not going to say anything because I don't actually know for sure.
If we need to check, we can check later.
All right. Here we are. We have
Seen a good
Mothman
initial
carrying
push.
a nice pick on the Zipcaster. Very good read from Mothman.
Support is going down, but that'll be just enough for Mothman to get that dunk and get the first checkpoint.
Player continue is still up there.
Oh my god.
Commentator's courage.
He is
but
tenacious.
Just long enough to get the missiles up. Here we go. Looks like Rainmaker in the hands of E and L. Seeing if we can't get an opening here. Doing a little bit of painting with the Rainmaker while we see another Crab Tank come out. Jayham just coming in hot.
Trying to get that stop. Doesn't quite
Almost
get it
getting
as
the
Pippi
trade.
comes up with their end zap.
Almost with the trade. Not quite.
Seeing a little bit of glitching around. Hopefully we don't see another DC this match.
Making the jump, not quite getting that checkpoint, Pickle. We see just the Octobrush doing what Octobrush wants to do best, just moving around the map and just being a menace. Unfortunately, going down. Player continued, just really honing in on the opposing team. I don't think I've seen player continue hit anyone with a charge slash, but it seems to be working out, so more power to them.
Right. And that's one thing that I often see playing against Vipers is just that constant horizontal pressure. It's so good at spacing people out. It's so hard to avoid too. You can't even jump over it most of the time, it feels like.
Shredding the crab. A crab's worst nightmare is a Splatana there, Pickle.
But
Zion
Zion
managing to
dropping
stay
down,
alive.
getting that kill in return as player contending was about to start pressuring. We do see the Rainmaker on the side of Bogbeast Butterflies, putting the pressure, throwing the bombs, doing the Rainmaker shots, trying to push Viscous Krillers back right now to score even more points.
Juice going to be helpful here. Taking the trade. 2 down. We don't like to see those trades right there when we have so much of Bogbeast Butterflies paint on the map. And just all those beacons just aggressively positioned here.
See, player continues showing up just enough to let the enemy know that he's still there and make him make a choice between going for the Rainmaker or dealing with him. But goes down.
We take those trades every day, Pipple. We absolutely take those trades.
Absolutely. Trading like Pokemon TCG.
Absolutely. Trading like magic cards on the concrete.
Man, I've never seen anyone trade Magic Gathering cards. People be way too selfish with that.
That's true. They usually sell them for big bucks or give them to Post Malone, Pickle.
At least the people I know, yeah.
You know Post Malone?
Oh, I wish I knew. I'm sure there's probably a couple other people who wish I did too.
Ooh, nice read. Just barely getting out of that.
Somehow escaping that.
Barely having, I think just barely having enough iframes there just to dodge out of the way, but getting taken down by player continue once again. Just being a menace. Just, I feel like he must be really feeling himself this match.
Constant pressure. Oh, we see Mothman getting some more points. Solo push on the Rainmaker, sneaking in.
Some very nice movement from Mothman here. Just a very adept Rainmaker carrier, not afraid to dive through enemy ink and just show his prowess with movement with those backline weapons.
Absolutely, and with Rainmaker no less, which already gives you a little bit less speed and mobility than anything else.
We have 30 seconds left. We have still a checkpoint to get through from Viscous Krillers. I look to try to see here. Just Zion up with the Crab Tank at the ready.
Ooh,
coming in.
Getting an unsuspecting player continue as he tries to get that bubble pop. It's now popping in Viscous Krillers' favor. We'll see if they can do anything with this. Got 10 seconds left.
Got the Crab Tank coming out once again, I believe. We'll see if EO and L can just creep forward here. They need to get their picks. Need to try to avoid trades as much as possible.
Oh, but these Tenta missiles coming down, displacing them.
Yeah, nice paint from Pippi, just giving that support. Nice pick on player continue. They're going to need to start pushing it forward very soon here, Pickle.
Right. Oh, but that suction bomb, they dropped right on it. Probably didn't even see it in their field of view. Really unfortunate, but that's the next game. Going to Bogby's Butterflies.
Well, this is looking already like a very different set. We have Bogby's Butterflies just holding mid just much better. We saw kind of traces of that from the very beginning of the set, but as match one went on, just slowly Viscous Krillers just picked up them apart. But now we're seeing that composure returning, Pickle, and we'll have to see now how Viscous Krillers adapts. Viscous Krillers, again, kind of being the champions of adaptation throughout this tournament, seeing what kind of picks they're going to take and what kind of strategies they're going to implement to try to get the upper hand here, Pickle.
Yeah, absolutely. Fat, what map mode are we going to be looking at next year?
This is Clam Blitz on Humpback Pump Track.
God, do I love Clam Blitz.
I do love Clam Blitz.
Let's get some I love Clam Blitz in the chat. Yeah.
Let's get those clams in chat.
Everybody loves clammies.
Put your clams in the air and wave them like you just put there.
Put your clams in the air if you are a true player.
If you like clams and grits and all that good stuff, everybody let me hear you say, oh yeah. All right. And we have Humpback Pump Track returning from Splatoon 2. An interesting and dynamic map. What wackadoo pick do I think Viscous Krillers pick? I'm going to predict Paintbrush, Pickle.
I am hoping to see something that's got a little bit of ledge control here, whether it's a bucket, a paintbrush, or something else. That's always been a really strong choice for a map like this with the elevation changes constantly all over the place. You usually see a lot of pressure coming out from that. Yeah, we'll see.
I have to wonder if Mothman ends up switching. Mothman does play a number of short-range weapons as well. I have to wonder if on a map mode like this, he might opt for something like that, or if we're just going to go with this comp that seems to have been working for this whole set so far, Pickle.
We might, although I do know Jet Sculpture does have pretty good range from ledge, so there's a chance he might be thinking of that. And we do see Custom Jet.
Yeah. Props to Bogby's Butterflies for sticking to their guns. We do see the Crack-On Roller making its first appearance, along with some Splat Dualies. We've got Zion now on the Tri-Slosher Nouveau, and ENL going to a variant, the Inkline Tri-Stringer. Going to try to get something happen with these chops, Pickle.
I'll be very curious to see how that goes. That could be a very good distraction if you've got the clams and you're up in their basket. Make them choose between either getting the basket closed and defeating the enemies or losing all that space by leaving the super chumps there. Curious to see how that goes. Got Mothman applying pressure.
Tri-Stringer's a heads-up pick. It has quite a bit of range for this map. It can really reach pretty far given the geometry of this map. And plus, of course, being able to hit over those late is invaluable.
That is true. Tenta Missiles coming out against Viscous Krillers. Doesn't seem to get anybody down. We do see Pippi getting a pick. Goes down just as quick from J-Hum with their NZAP. Looks like control for mid is still being contested as people are trying to grab clams. Currently most clams on the side of Bog Beast. Viscous has a little bit of catching up to do. We see J-Hum going in for the clam push. Doesn't quite get it.
Do have a Kraken coming out from Yotza, just defensively trying to camp that ball and make sure that nobody slips in under Viscous Krillers.
A very good underrated use of Kraken as well. Being an invincible special, sometimes you just got to hang around and play a little bit of defense with it.
And seeing some different uses. Of course, we're all familiar with the Kraken cheese on Clam Blitz, but being used defensively, really heads up move by Yotza.
Absolutely. Good call for the moment. We see Narumi chasing down some Viscous members. Gets a pick on Zion. They might be able to take mid here and start doing a push of their own, but I am not seeing much pressure yet. It looks like spawning in on each side right now. They're both meeting up in mid.
Big props to Narumi for buying her team time, but unfortunately 2 down again from Bogby's Butterflies. Let's see if Viscous Krillers can capitalize on this. They haven't really initiated too much of a push in quite a while here. Substrafing saves lives here.
Absolutely.
Seeing some dodge rolls. And there's the Kraken. Gotta wonder if we're going to see that jump.
Doing
and
good
there's
job.
the jump.
There's the jump.
We're going to see another jump here. Are they close enough to the basket? Not quite, but there is
Ooh,
a path.
running it in from behind Zion in the enemy spawn. That's going to give them a very good lead at 60 points. They're going to need more than just a power clam and a little bit to come back from this. We're going to have to see a pretty decent push in return from Bog Beast.
Absolutely. Not much follow-up, but not much needed when you get 2 power clams in pickle.
Absolutely. Especially at the first part of the game where you've got no penalty points to get through.
Yeah, and we're under 2 minutes now, which means that there's going to be even more pressure on Bog Beast to get a push going and to make it count, pickle.
And we see Ink Strikes coming out from the side of Bog Beast. Not doing a whole lot. Got no picks. Maybe displaced a couple of people, but so far we see Bog Beast. They've got a couple of clams. They're doing a jump. Is this going to be... That's their first score. They've got to get some clams and keep this going. Currently looks like they have a decent control of the spawn.
Never seen a toaster oven fly quite like that.
Indeed.
All right, 71, and unfortunately, it looks like the push is dead here. Mothman staying alive, going to provide some jumps for teammates, and we still have a little over 1 minute left. If they can make another push like that happen, they might be able to get it, but it looks like this is really going to opt to try to get their pity clam in.
Here comes the Kraken cheese. We've got 2 jumping in. There's 2 clams
getting a
going to be
pick
going
as
in.
well. 2 clams.
Oh, man. Just in time with that last power clam as well. That's going to bring them down to 40. This is going to be a really tough match.
We do have a soft wipe, but there's still, with those beacons there, they're still able to set up for their defense. They need to get a power clam quick.
Ooh, Narumi getting a good shot over the ledge on Yotza as he was peeking down from below. We're seeing a little bit of pushback from Bog Beast. They still might have a chance to be able to come back from this.
Some nice fall-off damage indeed. We do have some specials at the ready. Looks like we have a Tacticooler out, Rain Cloud, and we've got this. Oh, that's an unfortunate trade. We don't like to see that. That is, you fight a Tri-Slosher like that. That's usually how that fairy tale ends, Pickle.
Absolutely. We've got about 3 seconds left, and it looks like this game is going to be going to overtime.
Pressure. Mothman staying just out of reach of everybody's fire here.
We do see 2 power clams. They're making their way in. Unfortunately, got a little too antsy and wasn't able to get that in.
There.
Oh,
they got both in.
They got both.
5 points.
Oh, they just need a little bit more. I don't know if they'll be able to come back.
Off wipe, unfortunately.
Getting the picks.
Coming off on and not able to close enough.
That is so close.
Just a little too late.
Game 3 going to Viscous Krillers.
Wow. We have Viscous Krillers now getting points on the board in match 2 here.
I believe this... Oh, match 2, game 3, right?
Match 2, game 3.
Okay, good.
Week 9,
make sure I got the scores right.
Lost Anniversary Tournament 2023.
Whew, for a second, I forgot where I was.
Absolutely. I mean, it's cold out here in the bushes outside of Great's house. Wow.
All right. Well, we had Bog Beast riding a bit of a wave, but Viscous Krillers throwing in their wave breaker to break things up a little bit here.
Absolutely. And now we got splat zones on the newest kid on the block, Ship Shape Cargo Company. This is an interesting map. It really is. Like,
I'm not really much of a fan of it on Rainmaker. Clam Blitz can be a little bit weird. Splat zones, however, definitely one of my more favorite modes on it myself, personally.
Splat zones feels almost like, to me, like if you took the reef, moved the spawns to the sides of the map, took out the old spawns and blew a hole into the bridge, and then changed the color scheme name and game of it. Anyway, this bit's not very funny.
Basically, if you
what's
took
changed?
this map and completely changed it, you would
Yeah.
have a different map.
Yeah. You know what would make this more like the Reef? Just deleting it from the game and putting it in the game.
Well, for what it's worth, I didn't put too much time into Splatoon 2, so I'm not exactly quite too sure what the Reef is myself. Obviously a map, but you know.
The stream brought to you by the Reef. What is it? Where is it?
Well, we certainly do see reefs sliding in, depending on what weapons people play. Which, will we see a reef slider weapon for Splat Zone's cheese?
I could see Reef Slider actually being a decent pick on this map. But apparently no one else does. We do have, looks like some similarities in Viscous Krillers comp. We got the Crab Tank, and we got Beacons coming out once again, now this time with the Octobrush Nouveau.
And not
Get a
just
little
one crab tank, but two crab tanks on the side of Viscous Krillers. It almost makes me harken back to the original days of Splatoon 3 when it first launched.
Yeah, I definitely can see the merits of doing that here. Although with player continue coming behind with that sword, unfortunately getting picked in the process, it is going to limit the efficacy of those crab tanks. Although, with that being said, getting the flip and 3 down, we've got an early lead from Viscous Krillers.
And these points are continuing to tick down. Narumi taking down Zion, trying to get back to mid to gain some control of this. Ink Strike's coming out, that's going to help. And the zone does indeed flip.
And the Rain, a nicely placed Rain, just going over those jump spots in. No more penalty, but 2 down from Bog Beast Butterfly. Zone once again contested. Chumps coming out. Player continue coming in, trying to get where E&L is.
We're seeing a number of people from Bog Beast on the right side of the map.
Annoying weapon
starting
via
to
annoying
spread out a
weapon.
little bit more. Crab Tank over the zone, trying to keep that paint up on it. As Tacticooler comes out on the side of Viscous, or Bog Beast Butterfly, excuse me.
Rain on Rain. Some very nice movement.
Ink Strike's coming out, very well placed. That gives them the control of the zone for just a little bit more time.
And there's the wipe. We don't like seeing that. This could lead to a lockout here. We do see a lot of the map flipping over to Viscous Krillers, and they're setting up with most of their players just ahead of the zone. E&L taking that top bridge, and a Crab Tank as well coming out in an aggressive spot. Going to make it very hard for Bog Beasts to push him.
True, this is going to be a very good challenge to Bog Beast Butterflies trying to come back from this.
Lane.
Is exactly what they needed right there.
How a player makes it to the other side of the map just so consistently is just like I blink and he is in the enemy court.
Well, stop blinking, Fat.
I'm just red eyes for days. Pickle.
Staring
Red
contest
eyes.
right now.
Staring at this Octobrush here, getting the cap on the zone at a very opportune time. Going to maintain lead here and set up a couple of beacons in the process. Just calling out the Rumi here in a very good position.
Bog Beast trying to come back. Doesn't have too much support as people are starting to spawn in. Currently, Mothman with the Jet Sculpture getting the pick, putting pressure on the zone. Their team is now finally caught up, and they are all four trying to take this back.
We see another Crab Tank come out. And the jump in from Yotza, that's a pretty nice trade here. It's going to keep the Bog Beasts at bay just a little longer. And the Chumps coming out. Hopefully for Viscous gonna keep them on their toes. But there's the flip, just as I say that, Pickle.
Yeah, we got about a minute and a half left in this match, and at this point, anything could still be possible. We do see Bog Beast coming back. Player continue putting some good pressure on the other side of the map. Coming back, trying to help take the zone. They do get it.
I keep flipping to the overhead map, and I can't tell which side is Bog Beast Butterflies. They're just working both sides of the map here. Oh my goodness! And this begs the question: is it overtime yet, Pickle? Is it overtime?
It feels like overtime at this point. This is insane. It is
chaos
constantly going back and forth. You know,
Points
that's one of the
still going
things I do
down.
like about this map. It does force a lot of engagements.
Here comes that Tacticooler. Wonder if that might be a little bit too far forward.
Unfortunately, it looks to be the case. As Pippi is rolling in, getting a couple of splats.
Like, this could be it for this particular game here.
We got 30 seconds left in the match, and we do have Bog Beast Butterflies with quite a bit of ink that they have to make their way through. Zion with a crab tank putting down a lot of pressure,
Really
getting the
aggressive
drop on
defense as
Gnarly,
well.
potentially does get the drop. But while that happens on the side, we do see the zone being contested. Got
Some
10
very
seconds
aggressive
left
beacon.
and 2 points left. That is the
There we
game.
go.
That is the knockout.
We are now 2-2. Viscous Krillers taking the win on Splat Zones on Shipshape Cargo Company. We're going to be actually rotating now to side B of this set, where we're going to see the same maps from side A, but just in a little different configuration, some different modes being ascribed to them. And yeah, now we're
Basically,
in-
take my homework and copy it, but just change it up a little bit.
absolutely.
And especially with the
Unfortunately, my dog ate my
potentiality-
homework. My dog ate my homework.
You know, for me, it was my cat.
And my cat just yacked a hairball on it, and I had to turn it in anyway with a stain in the center.
See, that you only do to the teachers you don't like.
Yes. Just to hold my cat over my essay. Yak, damn you.
You know, if my cat eats enough grass, usually you can count on a yak coming up pretty soon. Thankfully, I am not in
Stream
my
brought to
school
you by
days anymore, so
grass.
I don't have to worry about that. But I do have a boss at work, so I don't know. Maybe I'll have to see if I can employ that technique. You know,
Tower Control Undertow Spillway is a map and mode that we'll be observing next. Not sure if we're gonna see. I think Bog Beast Butterflies has shown that they've very well settled in this comp, and I wouldn't necessarily stray too far from it right now. I could maybe again see Mothman making a switch if they desire a different special, but seeing how Viscous Krillers has remained pretty unpredictable, I find it pretty unlikely that they're going to change too much of their formula. Their comp does put out a good amount of paint. And Viscous Krillers, it's kind of a flip of a coin. Sometimes they have opted for some aggressive comps that have a lot of AoE and a lot of damage, but not necessarily a lot of paint output, Pickle.
All right, the players are starting to spawn, and the map is spooling up. We see Mothman on Custom Jet again. Same weapon comp for that team. Almost the same on Viscous Krillers as well, although we do see the Gluga coming out for that GG Booyah.
Pippi does seem to like the Glugas on this map. That wall, quite useful, and of course with that dodge roll providing a little bit extra distance here. Could provide just a little bit more of that pressure that they need. Already seeing the wall going up. A little bit of a fight in mid.
Mothman being pushed back on the side as some more pressure comes up from Viscous Krillers. Goes for the reposition. I do see some sloshing being done from Viscous on their right side as Zipcaster comes out from Yotza.
I think this is the longest time I've seen before a pick in this game, although we do have now the very first push coming out. Just a meager 3 points. And here we are with the Viscous Krillers pushing up ever so slightly, getting past that first checkpoint. And Yotza getting in.
Oh man, getting into the enemy spawn. Goes down unfortunately, but that does buy enough time for them to get the checkpoint to the next, or the tower to the next checkpoint.
Yes, a nicely timed distance from player going to just buy just enough space and map control. We're going to see if we can't make a counter push here. We do see the rain coming out.
Which does seem to be pushing ENL back a little bit as they try to get some shots on tower with that tri-stringer. Killer Whale comes out along with Zipcaster. That might be enough to push the enemies back. Things are still looking to be in Bog Beast's control right now as they make it past the first checkpoint.
Mothman just not letting down, just showing it's just not dying very much, just allowing for to be sort of like that moving beacon and just keeping the tower pushing forward ever so slightly across her. This
Absolutely doing a great job being an anchor for Bog Beast Butterflies. Although we do see 2 coming down. Mothman jumps out.
still hasn't
to keep him
died.
safe.
59, not quite enough, but that first checkpoint down, it's still anyone's game at this point, Pickle.
That is true. We're seeing some specials being gathered. They are starting to come out now. See, the Zipcaster is popped. So we'll be seeing Yotza trying to put some pressure on right now. They do get the tower decently up to the checkpoint, but can't get much of that time to take down.
Going down here, we do have a juiced up Beluga Duel. These on the front, Pippi coming in, using that wall very aggressively.
Actually, using
Really exciting to see weapons like this.
Booyah Bomb coming out from Pippi, trying to make the enemy back off a little bit, but Ink Strike's coming back right in return in response.
It's a very hard flank here. I'm gonna guess it's that's Narumi coming
dodge
in.
roll saving Pippi's life, but Mothman takes him down.
And, Mothman going down in the process.
They're seeing
See
a
bit
lot
of
of
a
picks
solo
going
push
back and
here.
forth currently.
Not quite able to capitalize off of that push, and now Mothman being the last one up. Starting to feel a little pressure. Still very, very close. No first checkpoint from either team. Really, all that they have to do is just maintain this lead here on the side of Viscous Krillers. Getting the second checkpoint might help seal the deal here, Pickle.
We do see some good pressure coming from Viscous. Trade's going back and forth, but right now that tower is looking kind of yellow. Bog Beast is going to be pushing this back, trying to take some of the space back and gain control of mid again. And this match has just been absolute chaos. Specials flying everywhere, picks going back and forth.
Lots of Booyah Bombs coming out. Just a lot of output from Pippi. Also seeing a good amount of Killer Whale coming out from Ian. And just these specials seem to be just adding that little bit of extra chip just to keep the Bog Beasts at bay. But
that is a wipeout.
Yeah, a wipeout. Let's see if they can't capitalize off. They just need 3 points.
This is so close. We got 30 seconds left, and both teams are probably scared that anything could happen at this point right now.
There's the juice. Got some defensive ink strikes coming in just to try to guide the tower a little bit further. Pippi going down, and there's the lead.
Oh,
flipping
that
to
is
Bog
going
Beast
to be
Butterfly.
enough.
We got Yotza coming in. Missiles coming out from player continue. J-Hum holding it down. Just everyone just taking turns being a beacon for one another. And that game is going to go to the Bog Beast Butterflies, clearing those last few points in the last 30 seconds of the game. Pickle.
Great job. Didn't even need that GG ink strike at the end either. Player continue was sneaky enough to just hop right on, and it's exactly what they needed at the end. We are now currently 3-2 with Bog Beast up by 1 game.
Something tells me I should have used that bathroom break, Pickle.
I mean, I don't know. I think a quiz is worth it.
Absolutely.
I mean, bodily functions, some entertainment for the audience. I mean, what would you choose?
Porque lo nostos.
Trick question. We already know what you chose.
Well, I mean, for all you know.
All right, Pat, hit us with the next map mode. What are we going to be looking at here in a second?
Rainmaker Sturgeon Shipyard. Now, this is an interesting one. We have this 2 paths, one being a more difficult, but kind of like in some ways safer, in some ways riskier.
I would say it's a little bit more of a technical challenge to get to.
Yeah, but having that high ground advantage can be very useful. Certainly the right path being a little bit easier to maintain, and certainly if you get an early wipe or an early player advantage, it can be a lot easier. But you are going right into the court of your opponents, and you're susceptible to bombs being dropped, just cover fire from all directions. If there's a backliner hanging on the grates, you have to kind of slip past their fire as well. So,
Absolutely. It's such a tough position to be in when you're in that pit just below the enemy spawn. As you
yeah,
mentioned, you'll have enemy shots coming from every which way at you. Although, on the other hand, if you're going left side, everything's being funneled into one corridor. Kind of makes it a little bit more trench warfare. It's hard to tell which one is the right way to go for.
yeah, it is very tough on that left side. Right after the checkpoint is hit, that gate comes down quite slowly. So the question being whether to pivot and take the long wide berth going right, or just to wait for that gate and just to try to muscle through Pickle.
And does that block that rotates on the left side, does that only start rotating once the checkpoint is gotten?
Yeah, as you can see from the overhead, it is currently up, and it will not come down until after that checkpoint is hit, at least on this particular map.
Okay.
You see player going down, and they are opting to take that left path here. Oh, no, but the juke!
Ooh,
and
geez.
taking it right.
Almost dunking that first checkpoint very quickly.
Nice pick with that. Zuka as well. Oh, just barely get... Oh, hitting with the fall off.
Wow,
What?
that is insane.
Looks like that push might be dead, but we did get a nice early lead here.
You got two members of Bogby's Butterflies up ahead trying to maintain space, while Mothman sticks behind trying to grab that Rainmaker and run it up. Unfortunately, Zion takes one down, but this Rainmaker, their shots are now coming up to add to the pressure.
I believe the Zipcaster finally taking down the Rainmaker in that process. That Zipcaster just proving invaluable to get to some of those tricky spots that are typically inaccessible on the enemy side. We do see players sneaking in, just trying to be able to tricky, and then finally deciding that it's not worth it.
Oh, and perfect time Tenta missile too. Taking down Zion as they try to go for that Rainmaker pop.
Unfortunately, dying to that pop as well.
It was
And
just
the whale
enough time
coming out.
looking away from it for that pop to come and sneak up and get him from behind. Zion does grab it. They are going to be going for a quick dunk here. Unfortunately, did not have enough paint support in space to be able to easily slide it in.
Yotza back on backliner duty, just wanting to keep Mothman at bay, knowing how much of a liability it can be to have Mothman available to provide those jumps and to provide that crossfire. And see if they go for the reset here, if they opt to pick it up.
Well, whether or not it was an accident, Mothman definitely has Rainmaker now.
Of course I meant to do that. Nice pick with the Rainmaker here.
Ooh, good idea trying to shoot their feet, but unfortunately Zion skates around it. Ooh, we've seen a lot of death going on here, right in the middle.
There's that meat grinder. Looks like this Krillers going to try to set up again. They do have 2 down, but some jumps coming back in. See if this flank from Jham works, and they are able to take out ENL while getting the juice down in the process. Going to try to paint the map.
Ooh, unfortunately, 2v1 situation. Didn't see that coming from over the ridge.
We do have Mothman still staying alive, just being
And
that
a sideways Rainmaker.
Don't see that every day. You just got to pay extra for that, Pickle.
Finally, enough paint to get that dunk, and Viscous Krillers gets the first checkpoint.
Absolutely. Those missiles coming out going to slow things down just a little bit, but we do have a Zipcaster coming in and getting picked in the process. A trade with Zion here, but Super Jump still coming in a lot of the map on Viscous Kriller's side.
And he tried pushing back Viscous Krillers a little bit, giving Narmi a little bit of space to be able to get in and do some work with their T-Tech.
Fortunately, Bogby still hasn't really advanced the Rainmaker, but 1 point here. Just not really getting the picks they need. Just kind of just being on the back foot for most of this game, Pickle.
Sure, we see a jump coming in from Zion that's going to give Viscous Krillers a little bit more support. Yotza up on the spinner, providing a jump, trying to be sneaky, gets a pick on Jham.
Love that positioning there. Just getting onto those grates can be so devastating.
Rainmaker pops in purple. We'll see if they're able to make a push or anything of this.
Absolutely. They might just opt to push it a few points here. You do see the Octobrush coming out, getting a pick in the process. Looks like they're not quite able to get the pick, but we have less than a minute here. And the Rain Cloud coming out. This is going to be kind of the last act of desperation for Bog Beast Butterflies. They're going to have to not only get the checkpoint, but also creep it a few points forward, Pickle.
Yep, Mothman quickly checking the spinner, making sure there's no one hiding up there this time. Gets a pick. There's some paint down. We're going to see Mothman run up. That Toxic Mist comes out. Changes up their plan, goes to the right. Doesn't have support from his team, and Zion comes up. Knocks him down.
That mist from E&L just slowing things down ever so slightly. Just might have given just enough time for Viscous Krillers to regroup and taking that win. It is now 3-3 in the bracket reset of Grand Finals.
Wow, this is insane how close this is. This is exactly what we were hoping for. Close matches, some intense endings. Man, we are seeing some great games tonight from our two final teams contesting for the Grand Finals title.
Pickle and Fat are just going to take a moment to just stare in awe at the screen and just at the intensity of this competition.
Absolutely. Just got to kind of collect myself a minute here.
Right. You not think that the stakes are as low as they are. There's lots of passion on the line, and that's been kind of the case this whole tournament. The teams have all put in just tons and tons of effort, or just weeks and weeks of practice and coordination, lots of learning about pump building and call outs and strategies. Some contestants learning new modes for the first time during this tournament, and just seeing the payoff here now in week 9 of the tournament as we move into this is game 12 here on
we'll just call it game 7 of the reset.
We'll call it game 419.
See, you rolled that back by one.
Lamblets on Flounder Heights. Now, an interesting combination, not previously available in the debut of Flounder Heights in Splatoon 1. We have Clamblets here. What do you think about this map mode, Pickle?
Honestly, I've heard some people give this map mode some flack, but this one is a personal favorite of mine. Usually, I don't like Flounders too much as a map. But there's that middle part where you go under the grates. You can have a very quick path to be able to score some quick clams if you're quick on your feet, and you got team support. So we'll see if we see any quick pushes come here during this game.
I do feel that with Clamblets, having good splat zones fundamentals can play really well with particular maps, and I think this one is no different. We do see a Vanilla Slosher from Yota, not a weapon that we have seen very much this tournament, but a weapon that you do see often in high-level competitive play
and
as a counter to short-range shooters.
We are also seeing a heavy deco from Mothman, sticking with that Kraken theme to be able to get the cheese in there.
You also see Jayham moving to... We have Jayham moving to the Slosher Nouveau, the Tri-Slosher Nouveau. So now, finally seeing some weapon changes after going about half of this set without having it. Just wondering if they decided that the AoE and the Kraken is gonna help. But we do see the early lead going to the Bog Beast Butterflies.
And that was a very
quick
quick
push.
push.
The Kraken
Right
yet.
in.
Oh, the cancel.
See, this is Krillers desperately trying to push him back to get that basket closed. They are able to succeed in that, and their pity does drop.
I do like Jayham getting that one last clam and just buying a little bit more time. Just even if you're not getting a ton of points in, sometimes getting one clam in just to stall, it's going to prevent the Viscous Krillers from being able to get many more points. And we already see Bogby's Butterflies set up with those beacons in some very aggressive spots. Again, seeing those splat zones fundamentals coming in.
Zion with the ink strikes, trying to push him back. At least took out a beacon.
I have to see. This could very well be Bogby's Butterflies plan here, but we do see a very aggressive push from Zion. Some very tight movement. And a very nice pick here.
Indeed, that cannot be stressed enough. Zion has some great footwork when they're playing their weapons. It's very hard to stay on target.
Yes, player continue just slipping in. And we got a couple more clams coming in now, breaking through that penalty. And the missiles coming out.
Narumi trying to get up close, trying to get a clam in just for a little bit of extension, but goes down from the pinch.
The bomb taking out Zion. That is really unfortunate. Do you see a little bit more of Viscous Krillers ink coming out, but those beacons just in the zone, just it's allowing Bogbeast just to stay alive, just like cockroaches.
Absolutely. I mean, I would probably say something a little bit more nicer than cockroaches, but that is a very good analogy nonetheless.
I'm moths.
Moss. That works perfect.
Or butterflies. That's the
even better. Actually, nah. I mean, there's some pretty cute moths out there. We see ENL with their tri-stringer trying to get some of these bottle pops, trying to get some chip damage, push them back a little bit. Looks like they do finally have control of mid and will be coming in pretty quick for a push of their own. No power clams yet on the side of Viscous Krillers, though. Hopefully they do not get to this basket without something being primed and ready. ENL now does.
It's interesting seeing Mothman opting to hold onto the power clam. That can be sometimes a risky move, but as a backliner on this map, he is kind of free to just hold on to it. Like, he doesn't care if the Viscous Krillers know where he is. He's just going to build, he's just going to be able to provide jumps and deny clams for Viscous Krillers. And now we are in the last minute and a half with 3 down from Viscous Krillers.
Oh, man. Player continue coming in with that wiper, knocking the power clam down. Oh, but Yota takes it and runs.
Wow. Some very nice coordination. Player continuing to be a thorn on their side, but going down, we do have now, I believe, 3 power clams available to the Viscous Krillers,
like it.
Which is incidentally all they need to get the lead here. If they can manage to get
Zion scrabbling, trying to get it, but is able to at least reset the timer on it. But Bogbeast is coming up, taking that space. It's gonna be really hard to get those back.
See on top mid available. We see a crab coming out. They don't need to overextend into this. They really just need to not even play full-on splat zones, but just maintain enough map control that they can protect the basket. Unfortunately, getting pushed back in the process. Going to see if they're able to get the picks they need here as we get into the last 20 seconds before overtime.
See Pippi trying to put out some feelers with those splash bombs coming out. We've got 2 power clams on the side of Viscous Krillers. They've got to do some coordination here. Crab Tank coums out. That's going to give them hopefully some paint and some space. Rolls down to the ram.
Rolling in.
Rolling back.
All their strats. All their strats. And here we see the first power climb going in. We see overtime continuing to count down. We see ENL and Zion trying to make some space here. The clock is still open. Oh, going down. And just not enough time, Pickle. That game is going to go to Bogbeast Butterflies, making them 4 wins to Viscous Krillers 3.
Wow, that is insane. This could be it here with this next game. All it takes is 5 in this best of 9, and that is going to call it. This has been a very close grand finals, and this just has me on the edge of my seat still. It's starting to hurt. I'm on the edge of my seat so much.
Absolutely. I'm on the edge of these bushes, Pickle. And I have to wonder if that switch for this map in particular, which, Flounder Heights having some idiosyncrasies, really, liking to have, some of that bucket pressure, and of course Clamblitz liking to have that Kraken available. I'm wondering if that just might have shaken up Viscous Krillers just enough so that Bog Beast could maintain that hold, because it seemed like they had a pretty solid control of that game for most of the time, Pickle.
That is possible. And maybe even having that heavy deco beyond just the Kraken, but maybe having a pretty decent range to work with the different terrain features of Flounder might have been key as well.
Absolutely. Fire rate and damage as well, Pickle.
Right. It's a little bit more than the Jet Sculpture, which definitely gives them a little bit more of aggression that they can play with on that. We got the teams currently working on their weapon comps and queuing up. Fat, what are we looking at next here?
Flat Zone's Mahi Mahi Resort. Now, I'm gonna do a hot take here, Pickle, because Mahi I know is kind of a contentious map. Certainly one that isn't largely favored by the community. I feel like this is one of the most entertaining Splat Zones maps in the game.
I would have to agree.
I don't believe I'm alone in this either. And I do think that the recent changes to Mahi have just enhanced what was already good. I don't think it's lost anything. It largely plays the same. Some of the jumps and movement on the top portion of the map is a little bit different now. Whether it's better or worse is kind of a matter of personal opinion, but just
True.
I think that this map lends itself to just some really interesting fights in mid, and despite the chances for lockouts on other maps, I think you have a little bit of an easier time getting out of it on this map, particularly since the rework and allowing more space and spawn people.
And we do see Bog Beast going back to traditional comp. Viscous Krillers sticking with this bucket that they picked up.
I do like the bucket as a counter to the short range shooters. It just barely outranges them just enough, and just that AoE damage can be invaluable. Plus, really, really nice kit with the Splat Bomb and Ink Strike.
True. And when you take a look at the snipes, that is the perfect weapon to be able to shoot up and over that, to be able to pester someone who might be on the receiving end.
Absolutely.
Viscous Krillers coming out with a lot of paint. Crab Tank doing some work. Getting some picks with the bucket as well from Yotza.
Absolutely. Very nice.
Viscous Krillers is doing a great job of keeping this middle zone painted and just maintaining control of it and not letting Bog Beast come in.
I'm going to try to go for that lockout. We'll see if this Ink Strike is going to make a big difference. This map opening up is going to allow both teams a little bit more space, but importantly on defense. Oh, just as I say that, we have the wipe. We have Bog Beast Butterflies coming and taking control now. The map flipping to their color purple.
Ultra Stamp getting a quick cap on that before being chucked out. Didn't find anybody on the receiving end, but that definitely has Viscous Krillers on their toes right now. They're going to have to do a little bit of work to be able to push them back and get a recap.
Yeah, just now realizing player continued going to the vanilla sword, which I don't believe we've seen, just thinking that the missiles and beacons aren't going to be as valuable as just having the torpedo just to get over those ledges and pester, particularly the tri-string here.
True, and having that Tenta Missile, any enemies are standing in the zone, being able to get that little extra bit of ink while displacing at the same time, that can be a great help as well. What am I talking about? That is the other wiper. Never mind that.
certainly good points all around if they were running that way. You see the lead switching over to Bog Beast Butterflies here, again, just by a few points here, but now the points continuing to go down. Hammer time coming in.
Ultra Stamp versus Crab Tank battle, but we did see that Crab Tank was coming out pretty quick. It was flashing red.
Zion caught alone here, does find a pick on her way out.
Ooh, and we are seeing this clock tick down for Bog Beast. They are still in control. They've got 10 points left. 10 points left. They're going to have to do something quick on Viscous Krillers if they want to keep this going. And that is game.
There it is. That is game. And we have Bog Beast Butterflies winning the second set 5-3 after going 0-5 in the first match. a wonderful, wonderful showing from Viscous Krillers. Some incredible tenacity, versatility, and show of skill. But now we have our champions in the Bog Beast Butterflies, Mothman, Narumi, J-Hum, and Captain Player continue.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Bog Beast Butterflies, on winning the DOS 1-year anniversary of Splatoon tournament. This has been a great tourney, great participants. We've seen some great matches. There's been a lot of growth. There's been a lot of friendships made. It's just been a great time overall.
Absolutely, Pickle. And just before we sign off here, just wanted to give a big shout out to everybody on the TO team. We, of course, have Kevin, FTW, Bren, Mara, Japanda, Hammy, Pickle. We have Nyaskers and Scully working in the backgrounds. D, who joined us in our exhibition match. Kicking myself if I forget anybody here.
I think we got everybody.
Of course, my good friend here, Pickle, as well. Of course, thanks to all the teams that participated, all of our friends who have offered to stream and commentate throughout the match. We will be looking to do some more DOS events in the near future as we are reaching now the 8th anniversary of the DOS server. So we got some more things to look forward to, some more fun things coming down the pike. So
definitely keep your eye out for that. Absolutely.
Absolutely here. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again for joining us. I've been your commentator, Fat Earth. Thank you so much to Pickle for streaming, commentating with me.
That's been a great time, Fat. Always a pleasure to hop in with you.
All right, y'all. All right, good night, everyone, and happy splatting.
Happy splatting.